The following program has been rated S for spoilers, which may or may not be discussed by the hosts of said program. Common sense is suggested. You silly person.
Hello and welcome again to Erin and Drew's Movie Reviews. My name is Drew.
My name's Erin.
And we were glad that you could make it here today through the big maze that it takes to get here to watch us, because we know it's a struggle and you just got to get through the maze sometimes. Sometimes some people might actually call it a labyrinth to get, go somewhere.
Just thank you for clicking the link that brought you here.
Yes. That too. And in case
I'm having none of it, Drew.
All right. Well, yeah, we are here. We are in a different location today because the studio we normally record in, there's some construction going on, and it was very noisy on the other side of our wall, and we didn't want to review movies talking this loud, so we decided to move it to a different location, and that's why it looks a little different today. Mm-hmm. So we literally decided this at the last hour to do it. So, yeah, kind of a lot to do, but anyway, here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. So, and oh yeah, the movie we're talking about today is called Labyrinth. It is a Jim Henson joint.
It is.
It is a Jim Henson joint, which is produced by Lucasfilm, which is interesting. I think the last time they did that was before this was Dark Crystal. Mm-hmm. Or was there something else in there that I don't know about? I think it was Dark Crystal.
I don't know. I don't really know which movie came first, Labyrinth or Dark Crystal.
Well, Dark Crystal was first.
Labyrinth or
yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
okay.
like in 82.
Okay.
This was like 85 or 86, I think. So, and David Bowie's in the movie, by the way, for better or for worse. And very young Jennifer Connelly also in this film. Is this her first film?
I want to say yes, but I'm probably wrong.
Yeah. Well, she's very young, let's put it that way. She's like, what, 15, 16?
Yeah.
Something like that. But the movie basically centers around her and she has a baby brother.
Stepbrother.
Half-brother.
Half-brother.
Which she apparently resents quite a bit.
Yes.
Because it puts a damper on her free time. Mm-hmm. And she's a
teenage girl. She wants to do teenage girl stuff.
Yeah, even though she doesn't really date or anything.
Nah, she just sits in her room and reads plays.
And likes going to the park and acting them out in front of no one except her dog.
Yes.
Who is named Merlin.
Yes.
Yes. I kind of want that dog.
Big old sheepdog?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. I used to have a dog and I don't anymore, so kind of want to get another dog. But so I say the dog in the movie. Oh, I want that dog. That's just kind of how I am.
Dog going to scratch its face.
Yeah. So yeah, and then she comes home and apparently late because she was supposed to be home. Mm-hmm. Because she was too busy doing Shakespeare in the park, as kids do.
As you do. Like, was I the only one that did Shakespeare in the park by myself?
So now, if kids, would that be today's equivalent of LARPing?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I'm running
Except
at you with the sword.
Yeah,
with my homemade sword, and I cast this on you. Oh, wow.
Thunderbolts.
Actually, that sounds kind of fun, It's like taking the Renaissance Fair home with you. Is basically what it is. But
it's fun.
For those of you who don't know, LARPing is an acronym for live action role playing. Mm-hmm. So kids dress up with, like they do at Comic-Con or wherever they go, and they pretend to stuff.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, something like that. But L-A-R-P.
It's when your D&D game just can't stay on the table.
Yep, it just gets a little out of control. Oh, what are those kids on? But anyway, yeah, she's doing Shakespeare in the park, and she comes home when it's raining. She's like, "Oh, you're late." Yada yada yada. So mom and dad want to go out to, I don't know, get hammered with their friends or whatever they're doing.
Whatever they're doing, it doesn't really matter. They're just leaving.
Because, they don't get to go out all that much, apparently. And so they need her to babysit her younger stepbrother.
Half-brother.
Half-brother? I was close.
So, yes.
Yeah. So, and she's like, kind of gets mad about, he's crying. And she's like, I wish someone would come and take him away.
I wish the Goblin King would come and take you away.
And wouldn't you know it,
Right
guess
now.
who shows up? David Bowie.
David Bowie.
Looking like he stuck his finger in a light socket.
With some glitter.
Yeah. Oh, boy,
He's
glitter.
so shiny.
Yeah, that was kind of his thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is just kind of bent things one way or another. You never really quite knew which way he was going. And he's like, oh, if you want him back, you gotta come find him.
Yeah. He's at the center of this maze. You have 13 hours.
Now, was there a reason why he specifically gave 13 hours?
For the
As opposed to like
theatrics.
12 hours?
It's mainly for the theatrics. Like, oh, look, with 13 hours, because how is there 13 hours on a clock? It's just a special clock.
Oh, okay, I see.
So it's
'Cause
the whole thing is a fantasy world that she just dives right into, and I think it's part of the books that she is like immersed in. So everything about this is a fantasy for her.
Yeah. And you can tell she's very much into the theater because there's like a big poster of Cats on the wall. Oh, only if that character lived long enough to see the movie Cats.
Nobody needs to see the movie.
Nobody needs to see that movie. Oh man, it is bad. Did I tell you I walked out of that movie?
You walked out? You didn't stay through the whole thing? So you didn't get Dame Judi Dench just yelling at you?
No.
Looking straight in your face?
I
going,
did
hey, cats are not dogs.
I did the same thing I did with that Bernadette movie with Kate Blanchett. I walked out after hour and 15 minutes. I'm like,
see, that explains your view on that. You didn't get to see the whole. Okay.
yeah.
That explains so much,
It just-
actually.
It's just like I can't do it anymore. I am leaving.
You missed out.
Yeah, well,
I like Bernadette.
I'll never know.
You'll
But
never
that's
know.
okay, because I thought it was terrible. I can only give so much of, if it's not really going, never mind. I hate that movie.
Okay.
But anyway, this movie was much better than that. And anyway, she has to go find her brother, and she's trying to get inside the maze. She does. There's just this big wall, and she's like, "Where do I get in?" And then she meets Hogarth.
Hoggle.
Hoggle. That was close. But I could have sworn, this is maybe a
That's
little.
just doubly funny because nobody gets his name right in the movie.
No. Well, I could have. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I think there was a little bit of foreshadowing to the Harry Potter universe.
Oh,
Because doesn't she accidentally call him Hogwart?
I think so.
I think she did. Yeah. It's, see you later, Hogwart. It's Hoggle! Or something like that, yeah. So she gets inside and has trouble kind of getting through. She doesn't know how to, she just looks this way, goes forever. She looks this way, goes forever. It's like, oh, how do I go?
What kind of maze is this? There's
Yeah.
no twists or turns or anything.
And
it
then
just goes on and on.
She gets some advice from like a worm that's about that big.
Just
Maybe,
the worm.
Maybe that big, that actually talks. And the worm wants her to come inside for tea. I'm like, where am I supposed to go? I'm this big. You
Come
are
inside,
like,
meet the missus.
you're that big. So, but but she has. It's just kind of an optical illusion as to like how you actually go through the walls. If that makes any sense. And she meets all kinds of weird people along the way.
So many weird people.
Yeah, I like that Monsters Inc. guy who's hanging upside down. I forgot his name. With the horns.
Oh.
Yeah, she sets him
Pluto.
free. Pluto?
Ludo.
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 Oh, okay. I forget.
Ludo.
Ludo like Sarah. Mm. Yeah, and then, oh man, what, and then they come across this swamp, which I called the farting swamp because basically that's the sounds it makes. And there's this like magical little, I forget, how did they get the thing to pop up? There's like this, there's a hidden, not a bridge, but what do you call that?
Ludo is a rock caller.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he calls the rocks.
But yeah.
And they just burble on up.
Yeah, like magic?
Yeah.
Okay. Because every time
they come to him when he calls.
So why is it that when every time they step on a rock, it sounds like it's passing gas?
Because it's the swamp of stench.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
I just didn't understand how that worked, that's all.
I'm assuming because even though they're rocks, it's not really a solid ground, so it's just kind of sinks a little every time you go through it, so it's going to release any gas.
Oh, so it goes
around
just because it goes down in the goop.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I would assume.
All right.
Fantasy world.
Sure. I don't know. Yeah, it's all it is.
Hi, you hungry? Looking for a tempting treat? Hold on till I absorb some heat. Some added tang might please you too. I'll slide into an oven-fresh bun, and I'm ready for your eating fun.
Why don't you try a juicy good hot dog? Mmm, delicious.
Fantasy world.
Fantasy world. Whew, magic. And then he comes across, or she, rather. I keep saying he. Well, there is a he. They kind of slowly kind of accumulate as a, I guess it's a posse. Is there a certain number of like Muppets that constitute a posse?
I don't know. It's a plethora of puppets.
Plethora. I like that word better. Plethora of.
Puppets.
Well, aren't they Muppets technically?
Muppets.
Plethora of Muppets.
What is the definition of a Muppet?
A marionette and a puppet.
What makes a puppet a Muppet? When it has marionette bits? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Then I guess they're Muppets.
Ta-da. Yeah, and
They're Jim Henson creatures.
one thing I thought was really cool when she fell through that hole, and there's all these freaky because they're like all these hands.
They're helping hands.
Yeah, they're like reaching out. And I thought like, oh, is this turning into a zombie film all of a sudden? But no, they're the helping hands.
We're helping hands.
We're here to help.
They
you.
make faces.
Yeah, and they do this and all this other stuff. And then David Bowie, of
or
course,
down.
pops up periodically throughout the movie, and he's got this little orb thing where he sees. I forget what that's called. Is it just
Like
an
a
orb?
crystal ball. Well, do you really want to talk about David Bowie's balls? Because he has those crystal balls.
Good night, everybody.
I've been waiting to say that. I'm sorry.
No, please do.
He's got the crystal balls that he like juggles with, and they sometimes turn into bubbles. But he basically uses that, so it's a crystal ball in order to.
Isn't
see
a bubble
everything.
technically a ball?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a sphere.
Or a sphere, if you prefer.
A sphere of soap.
Yeah.
But yeah, he uses that to check in on her whenever, just to see how she's getting along in his labyrinth. And
Yeah.
she has very.
She was
different
progressing
things.
much better than he was anticipating. Yeah.
He throws in some new big bad evil guys.
Yeah, and
Every
then
once
like
in a while.
that
Some traps
giant,
and-
what do you call that thing? Blender blade thing.
the cleaners.
The cleaners that like are pushed by the underlings to
like two of them.
clean
Just
out
like
the
poke, poke,
pipes.
poke.
Yeah.
But it helps them though. Like it gives them a way out. They get trapped in some underground. Like they get out of the oubliette. Her and Hoggle get out of the oubliette, and then they meet the cleaners. After they meet David Bowie, who is like, "You're doing too well. Stop it. I will give you this thing. Ha ha."
Yeah, and then she accumulates another member to the posse. This man, I can't remember his name. He's like a pirate, and he rides the dog. The dog is like the horse.
Sir Didymus?
Yeah, that guy.
I know this movie really well.
Yeah.
Sir Didymus, who is kind of like a fox dog thing, who then rides another dog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a horse.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The way we would ride a horse, he rides a dog.
Yes.
Yes.
And he has, like, I would call it Don Quixote syndrome, where he thinks he's a much better fighter than he actually is, and he's just like, let's go, charge. I'm Sir Didymus.
I can see that. Yeah, and then
Open up.
and then the Hogarth. What's the,
Hoggle.
Hoggle? I'm sorry, Hogwart. Yeah, that guy. He, I guess, he is coerced by the Goblin King to give Sarah this apple or
Peach.
Yeah, that makes her forgetful, so she forgets what she's doing there, and
Brings her to a wonderful enchanted ball. Different kind of ball.
yeah.
A dance, a party. And she has this pretty dress and gets to dance with the Goblin King, as you would at a dance. But then she's like, no, this is wrong. Breaks out of it.
Yeah. I don't know. Those scenes were weird.
This whole movie is weird, but
Yeah.
it all plays out like a dream, and it's great.
Yeah, I suppose. And then she finally gets to. She gets her memory jogged back by the. I guess she would be the medieval equivalent of a cat lady. She's like a hoarder.
The trash lady?
Yeah, the trash lady.
Yeah.
She's got like everything, and then there's like this. Her room shows up as like some kind of a. I don't remember how that went, but
It basically, she's in a trash
it's like
heap,
I used to. I
throws
was-
her into this room,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, it was all a dream. And then she goes to leave to check on Toby or her parents because they should have been back now. And in walks the trash lady, and she's like, oh, it's not a dream. Okay, where am I going? And then she somehow remembers her friends, and her friends have been looking for her. And then they meet back up.
That's right. And they go take on the Goblin King.
Yes.
Yes. And she runs right into an M.C. Escher painting.
Yes.
Yes.
Best song. The best song in the whole movie. In my opinion, the best song in the whole movie happens during the M.C. Escher painting. So,
Yeah. I always wonder what that would look like in real life.
yeah.
Those are, M.C. Escher's. If you've ever seen any M.C. Escher art, please go check that out because he makes some crazy artwork. And then she pretty much gets her.
She has to remember the speech that she was giving in the beginning,
Yes.
and that banishes the Goblin King to become the owl that he always is, or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she goes back home and
Yeah.
gets her little
Oh.
brother back.
Yeah. And she has friends. A very Muppety type of friends who like dancing and stuff.
Who are always there if you need them.
Yes, of course. Okay. Well, I guess that's Labyrinth. Yeah. I often use the term Labyrinth to describe other movies that have like convoluted plots and logic leaps and just like that are just mazes of drivel, and it's just not worth trying to figure out because it's just not enjoyable. That's just with some, not all movies, but some movies. It's like, okay, I had to lift that up to like get there. Or like, okay, I see how this works. Other times it's like, okay, I'm doing all this like heavy lifting, and where is it getting me? You know, it's just not enjoyable. Like a lot of David Lynch movies, I kind of feel that way. But anyway, yeah. So, is it rating time?
Do I have to give my rating? I think it's obvious.
Oh, A+. Okay.
I'm on my list of top movies.
Like top 10? Really? Wow. I don't know. I think
I'm
it's
ready to be disappointed in you.
well. I mean, it was okay. I did not love it. I think that both The Dark Crystal and The Never-Ending Story were both better than this movie. That's just my
Okay.
I didn't really like. In a weird way, it seems kind of like a revenge movie. Not in the story-wise, revenge, but like a David. It's like I see this and I think David Bowie was really mad that he never got to host the Muppet Show.
Okay.
Because as far as I know, I don't think he did.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't think he ever hosted the Muppet Show. And he came to Jim Henson and said, "Hey, I got an idea for a movie where I do all this singing and I have dancing Muppets around me." I think that's what he did. And there's weird musical numbers in it. I'm kind of like, I don't know.
For a brief second there, I thought you had gotten into the Labyrinth theory, not conspiracy theories, but the Labyrinth movie theories that have gone on about people trying to explain the plot of this and how, yes, technically there's a revenge plot going on in there. It's long and convoluted, and I don't want to get into it right now.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like, I think it's a great idea for a movie, but I wasn't really impressed with like the creature design, or the Muppet design, I should say, in the movie. I think the Dark Crystal ones were better.
You didn't like the fairies?
Meh.
Take off your head.
Yeah,
My head don't come off.
Well,
You
yeah.
didn't like Ludo? Big fucking mess, Ludo.
Yeah, he's okay. I'm gonna give it a B-.
I guess
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, that's Labyrinth for you. Definitely worth watching, though. I mean, maybe you like it more than I did. It's okay. Yeah, but anyway, I think we made it through the maze, but not out of our construction zone bomb shelter thing. But anyway, well, until next time, I'm Drew.
I'm Erin.
And we'll see you at the end of the labyrinth.
Bye.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.
Cable television is the swellest thing they got.